I have to go to dermatologist. Part of my diet.
Hey, good evening. We'll call this May meeting to order. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. We do have to make one thing on the agenda here for old business. We have to, if you'll just write down old business under sidewalk quotes, we have to put in the sewer AI agreement. So the board just has to approve that. So that is all. Again, I'd like to welcome you all here. And now we'll move on to the approval of the minutes and the financial statements for April 2019 regular meeting, April 2015, and special meeting minutes for April 23rd, 2019.
I make a motion that we approve financial statements for April 2019, the regular meeting minutes for April 15th, 2019, and the special meeting minutes for April 23rd, 2019.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. First on the agenda tonight, we have John Anthony with Anthony and Tab.
Thank you, it's good to be back here again.
Yes, sir.
Got the audit report, as you know, it's finished. It's not been submitted to Raleigh yet. There are a few documents that have to be done, including the amended contract. But the report itself is ready to go, and we'll go through it tonight. And rather than having, we could have had it bound and presented in its final form. It is in its final form, but we haven't bound it yet just because if they want us to make some changes, that way we won't have to recall the statements and change the page and bring them back. I'm confident that the numbers are right, but sometimes there's usually some disclosure in the notes or something that they want done differently. And that may not be the case. As I mentioned to you when I was here last month, it's going to, I told you it's going to be a good audit report, and as we go through it tonight, you'll see that it is. You had a very good year. For the year ending June 30, 2018, which is what we're reporting on. So to go through the items that I want to discuss and point out, and then I'll try and answer any questions you might have. But if you start on page 5, as the title says, this is the independent auditor's report. This is our opinion on your financial statements. In layman's terms, it's a clean opinion. If you read through it, it says that in our opinion, these financial statements give a fair presentation of the town's financial condition as of June 30th, 2018, as well as a fair presentation of your operations during the year, your income and expenses, and the cash flows of your water and sewer fund. And this is the opinion that you hope to receive. It doesn't say that every dollar is perfect, but it says that nobody's going to be misled. The big picture is fairly presented. So it's a good opinion that you wanted to get. Next, beginning from page 8 to 18, is a document that is technically a document from the town to the readers. It's not, this document itself is not audited, it's just an unaudited statement. But as you go through it, it's a lot of information that is in the audit report itself, and some information that is not. It's in a little more plain English. And there's a lot of good information that I encourage you to take a little time and read it. And one thing that it does have that the audit report does not, and I'll show you that in a minute. If you look on page 13, and also on page 15, the two schedules here that shows some comparisons to the prior year. And comparative numbers are always very useful to me when I'm looking at somebody's financial condition or how they're doing. You see how you're better off now than you were a year ago. The audit report itself does not provide comparative numbers, and that's just because that's the format that the standard setters have come up with and have used for many years. everything, just don't use comparative numbers. But as I go through the numbers tonight, I am going to give you some comparisons to the prior year, at least in regards to cash, because I think that's real important. But anyway, the management discussion and analysis is a very useful document. Again, it has a lot of the same numbers from the audit report that are put down in a condensed form, and you know, get a lot of information without having to read through a 70-page audit report. Okay, so next, to go through the actual financial statements, turn to page 20. Statement of net position is the balance sheet for the entire town. The first column, governmental activities, that's your general fund. And second column, business type activities, in your case, that's your water and sewer fund. So the first line on there is your cash and cash equivalents. This is unrestricted cash. You see the total at the end of June was $962,000. If you compare that to the previous year, that number was $812,000, which is an increase of $150,000, which is almost a 20% increase. So that's how you'll see, if you go through these numbers, that's consistent with what you'll see elsewhere. So that's a very good performance from a cash standpoint. Up there in that top current asset section, the last line is restricted cash and cash equivalents. You see the total there is $52,000. Previous year was $33,000, so that's an increase of about 18. And restricted cash, and there's a schedule in the notes that breaks this down. But that's your power bill money, the security deposits on your utility customers, and a little bit of the police department drug money is in a small account. So because they can only be used for certain purposes, they're broken out and shown as restricted cash. So your total cash now, combining all of that, is a little over $1 million. It's $1,015,000 compared to $845,000 the previous year. So again, that's cash for a town this size. You're in very good shape. And in addition to that, you bought a little over $3,000 in fixed assets during the year that used cash, and you reduced your debt. Principal payments were just under $45,000. So you made those payments and still increased cash by a significant amount. So again, had a very good year. Next, if you turn to page 26, and what you've got is throughout these audit reports are really two sets of financial statements for each fund. One, and this is one of them here, is prepared on your budgetary basis, same way that your budget is prepared. Then there are another set of statements that are prepared on the full accounting accrual basis that they just started doing that. It's been about 10 years now. So we have to reconcile the two. But the budget statements are really what you guys are most interested in. And you can see that you did very well. You can see your variance with your final budget. Your revenues, you collected $5,300 more than was budgeted. And total expenditures, you spent $139,000 less than was budgeted, for a difference from a budget standpoint of $144,000. And just as importantly, you'll see under the expenditure section in the variance column, none of those departments have parentheses around it, which would mean that you'd overspent the budget, which of course you're not allowed to do under state law. So you had healthy under expenditures that led to a very nice surplus in the general fund of $111,000 for the year. So your general fund is just in very good shape. They also look at what your total fund balance is as a percentage of your expenditures for the year, and you've got a very healthy fund balance. Next on page 28, you can see the total This is one of the two income statements for the water and sewer fund. This is one that's on the full accounting basis rather than your budget basis. And you'll see that you had a loss for the year of $18,000, but included in that was depreciation expense. If you look up on the operating expense for $104,000. Depreciation is a bookkeeping entry. It represents the way your fixed assets are, the cost of those spread over their useful lives rather than written off all at one time. So it's not cash money that went out, but over the long haul, it's a real expense because those items, your pumps and trucks and lines and everything have got to be replaced. So it is a real expense. If there's anything in this report that the state treasurer is going to comment on, it's going to be the $18,000 loss. But they understand the depreciation as well, but they also, a loss is a loss, and that's the way they're going to look at it. But budget-wise, and I'm going to go to that in just a minute, you're in fine shape. So lastly, if you turn to almost the very back, page 68 and 69. This is the other income statement for the water and sewer fund, and this is prepared on a budgetary basis. And if you look at you'll see first of all that in the variance column, again, your expenditures are all within budget. And on page 69, about 3/4 of the way down, you see revenues and other sources, over or under expenditures and other uses. You had a budget surplus of $46,000. So the water and sewer fund, from a budget standpoint, did very well. So again, town, I think, did very well last year, and continues to be in very good financial condition. You got any questions? While I'm here, let me introduce, this is my son, Charlie Anthony, who's in CPA, has been with us for 6 years, since he finished graduate school. And he did most of the work on this audit. He did a really good job. So I took over from my father in 1976, and hoping that he will take over for me. He and I will be working on this audit together this coming year, so that we'll be able to get it out on time. Okay. If you have any questions, you can give me a call, and Debbie, give me a call.
Thank you, sir. Next up, we have Cecil Halsey. Yeah.
Two things, I'll be quick. My name is Cecil Hawley. I'm the president of the Bailey Chamber of Commerce. Everybody knows in the past around holidays, we do flags a week, at least a week before a holiday, and at least a week after a holiday. This year we hadn't done them. Had Armed Forces Day last Saturday, and Memorial Day is this coming weekend. And Byron can't put up the flags. I mean, it should be a repeat. Veterans Day, Memorial Day, every holiday, they should have them up. I mean, it's always been done. This year, nothing's been done. And Saturday, I mean, this coming weekend, we have a Memorial Day service at the Bailey Cemetery. And I think the grass will be cut, has been cut.
I've already talked to them.
Been cleaned up. And maybe a lot of people don't know or do know that we have a memorial wall out there for all the veterans that have died. You can add your veteran's name to that wall. You just have to say James McKeel. It's a few dollars to do that. And I talked to Ricky Horner today for about an hour and a half, just a while ago. And I don't know if you guys already know it, but he said make sure that the town talks to the Commerce Department or who's ever in charge of us having this grant money to make sure it doesn't have a date to stop. Because he said he can just extend it, but he needs to know beforehand. He said he thinks that by June the 30th, he can get it extended if we need to. So that was the other thing. And that's all. What's up? One more thing. quite just my personal opinion. But for the Chamber of Commerce, we've got the best mayor, the best town commissioners, and the best office staff this town has ever had. I know there's a lot of derogatory talk bull going around, but this is the best group of guys we've ever had in the town. I've been coming to meetings for a long time. About long as Shelley's been on commissioner. And this is the best group of people we've ever had in this town. So y'all keep up the good work. Thank you. Run me out if you want to. Right now on the ring.
All right, Thomas Ellis of Ireland.
Walter.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Water? No, I just, sorry,
I can wait. No big
I
deal.
can't read, so.
I'm sure I like calling Cecil anyway.
Good.
I'm here as the chair of the Beta Planning Board, just to let you know that we're meeting monthly. We did have a meeting this past week. There's nothing brought in front of the board that needed action on our part, but we continue to look at what we're looking, the draft, the goals we drafted, just looking to make sure we support the Downtown Strong Initiative. The museum overlay district review is going on. That committee has met also, so hopefully we'll be getting something back fairly soon on that. We are definitely in support of our zoning administrator, and then looking for continuing education for ourselves. There was a discussion, I think, about the members of the board in the terms that they serve. So I just wanted to make sure that what had been relayed or is relayed to y'all. Currently, David Evans is on a one-year term, and his term actually expires on. They do have a copy. All right, so you have a copy of all of that, then I don't need to go through it. And, that's been set up, and that's where we're at right now. We'll try to keep this in mind and in line as we move forward. I just want to make sure y'all are aware of who they were and what they do. And I'm not sure if you're aware either, but I'll go ahead and read. Maybe some folks here in the audience would like to know also. But the powers and the duties of the planning board itself, is to make studies and recommend to the town board plans and goals relating to the land use, growth, development, and redevelopment of the town and its planning jurisdiction. To develop and recommend to the town board policies, ordinances, administrative procedures, and other means for carrying out plans in a coordinated and efficient manner. To make recommendations to the town board concerning proposed zoning text and map amendments, and to recommend amendments to the zoning ordinance or other land development regulations that should be initiated by the town. To approve and review subdivision matters in accordance with adopted subdivision regulations of the town, and to perform any other duties assigned to the planning board by the town board. So, and the other position that the planning board holds is it also acts as Bailey's Board of Adjustment. So in that regard, we have the power to hear and decide upon appeals from administrative determinations, to authorize variances, and to hear and decide upon applications for conditional use permits in accordance with the procedure. So that's our role. If you see things that we can do to help, please engage us. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thomas, sorry about it.
Good evening, everyone. You should have before you the monthly activity report for April 2019. Under significant meetings, town issues, I've got 3 items on this report. The first one is for the quotes. They've been submitted to replace the hydrants at Pine Street and Benson Street and Dean Street and Nash Street. And due to the age of these hydrants, parts are unavailable to fix them. Isolation valves are also included in the quote, but will only be applicable to the Pine Street, Benson Street hydrant. The other hydrant already has its own isolation valve. Item 2, the lift station pump replacement on Reed Street has been completed. The third and final item, the vessels have been delivered for the well filter replacement project. And work should be getting started at Well House 1 any day this week. I was able to talk with the contractor, named Ed Jones, and he said they'd be starting before the week was over. at well number 1 to ball field level. Under operational highlights, yard waste and bag leaf pickup for the month of May is the 1st and the 13th. For the month of June, it will be the 3rd and 17th. Mowing schedule, May 3rd and 17th is zone 1. May 29th is zone 2. May 23rd, zone 3. And if you'll notice, I noticed talked about the Bailey Cemetery and trying to get it cut. We were originally planning on doing it Tuesday, Wednesday, but I know you all like to have it cut as close to Memorial Day as possible. So I did push that out a day. So maybe Thursday and Friday we'll have that complete. And if I have to, I will have the people work overtime to try to see that cemetery get done before Memorial Day. And going along with that, flag hanging, made arrangements to get equipment today. Plan on starting to hang those flags tomorrow. So hopefully by the end of the day tomorrow, the flags will be up. Going back to the mowing schedule for the month of June, the 7th and 21st, zone 1, June 26th, zone 2, and June 10th and the 24th, zone 3, which is the Bailey Cemetery. Under work order summary, a total of 27 work orders were completed in April 2019. And as a side note to that statement, I'd like to point out that there was actually more work done than just 27 work orders. I don't think a lot of work orders are getting created, and that's something that I represent Link will try to be better at doing, but also, the town of Bailey, along with myself, needs to work towards that, trying to get each individual work order created in Legato and entered. Because I think 27 is a misrepresentation about how much work is being done today. There was one work order for to read 338 meters. There was one for a meter turn on, and I could not find any for rereads. And typically there was no rereads this past month. There was 2 completed for repair and water line service meter, one for a leak check, 4 for unstopping sewer service line, 2 trash can deliveries, 3 yard waste pickups, with one of them being an individual pickup. Clean storm drains. There was 7 cemetery work orders completed, and 5 miscellaneous work orders. Under operations, for the water, for water produced, the current month was 1.74 million gallons that the well produced. The previous month was 1.67, and the year-to-date total was 15.34. There were 308 customers billed, 338 meters read, and 1 million gallons is the water that was actually billed out, which leaves 74,000 gallons that was used for flushing process or due to leaks. For wastewater, the wastewater that was metered, the current month was 3.26 million gallons. The previous month was 3.5. The year-to-date was 33.58. There were 249 sewer customers billed, and the sewer bill for those 249 customers was 0.84 million gallons. And you see a big discrepancy there, those 2 numbers, where it's obviously a lot of I&I issue. That amount of rainfall for the current month was 2.5 inches. That concludes my report. If there are no questions.
Yeah, I just got one question on this cemetery dig field, filling graves, did EnviroLink actually dig those or Garfield dig those?
We contracted out to Garfield.
Okay.
We always have to go out there and mark the lot.
Okay. All right.
I have a question. The fire hydrants, so originally there were 5 that were not serviceable,
Well,
and
there
I
were-
think that's what the.
Yeah. And I got a list that Kelly that gave me, and I've seen this list a lot right here, so they're working.
That's good.
And I went out today and put eyes on these hydrants myself. I've had the maintenance crew go out and check these hydrants, but just to make sure, I went behind them and I checked these hydrants. There are 3 out of these 5 hydrants that appear not to be nothing wrong. The valves are on, there are no apparent leaks at the hydrants. And I know one of them, the steamer cap was missing, and it was missing, but that has been replaced on that one hydrant there. Which leads us to, the one at Pine and Benson, and the one at Deans and Nash. And those are 2 that definitely need to be replaced. One of them is gonna be a little bit more expensive than the other. The one on Pine and Benson, it's in a really, really bad spot. If we put it back where it's at right now, it's just gonna be over again and again and again by trucks. So it's in a really bad spot. So there's probably gonna be a little bit, and that one is the one that does not have the isolation valve to it. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to cut that section of water main off to, install that valve, which will probably put the school out. So this is gonna probably be a weekend project for us, provided you all, sign off and approve the replacement there. This is probably something we will schedule during the weekend to try to get done. But like I said, we're gonna have to think that through a little bit more. I think we're gonna have to 45 that one. Do something different than what's there, because I do not want to put it back in the same place it's at, because the same thing is going to happen.
Makes sense.
Any other questions? Thank you, y'all.
Up next, we have Roddy Hancock. Yes, sir.
I am, or was the owner of Better Bank.
Yes, sir.
And I'm working very hard to get this thing redone. I'm only here for one request, and that is that y'all leave my parking in place, and I'm gonna give you the story of this. That building's been down since 1912. It started out with mules, it went from mules, horses and wagons, and it's gone to Model T Fords, now it's gone to brand new car. I've had that building record open for 10.5 years. And not once did we ever have a police officer down there because anybody was bumped or they backed out and bumped anybody. We've never had a problem in the parking lot in general in any way. There's been more cars tore up in that back parking lot than there has ever been touched on that front. And if I cannot keep my parking the way it is in the front, I'm going to lose 8 or 10 parking spaces. I need you to consider leave them the way they are. But that being said, 115 years says something for it being down there. I mean, tractor trailers come up down to there, tractors come down to there, cars come down to there, and there's parking on both sides of that. That's the only reason I'm here, and I'm working very hard to get that building reopened, to put another business back in Bailey. And I'm up against having to ask that everything stay in place the way it is. I've always been told, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It has not been broke, and I don't think it needs fixing. And all I'm asking you all is to look at the situation and see if we can keep things just the way they are down there. And let things ride, because, I mean, if you've got to think about it, you've got to look at the situation the way it is. There's never been a problem. And with the way it is, never. There's not one iota. Since in 11 and 10.5 years that I kept that thing open, not one incident happened in that. You have more problems with that bridge out there than you have with my parking lot up there. And all I'm asking y'all is to look at the situation and consider leaving it the way it is. That's all I need to know. Just y'all look at the situation Y'all talk about the situation, and think about what I'm have to go through to change that, what I'm gonna lose, because already parking is gonna be bad. And if somebody comes along and actually buys that little lot in front of me, then I'm gonna have no parking at all, other than those parking spots that I own right against that slab and right in front of my building. So all I'm asking y'all is y'all look at the situation, think about the situation, think about the way it's set up down there, and go from there. But that's all I'm asking y'all is y'all to leave my parking and stuff the way it is, just so I can get that building open back up. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for a whole lot more than that. I won't get business open back up. We need the business in there. I want to see this town grow just like everybody else here. And I've been saying that since I ever went down there. But when I first started coming to this meeting, way back yonder, I was told I had no say here because I was a businessman and I did not live in town. And that's why I never came and sat in one of these seats, because I was called a streetwalker when they see me coming down the street, because I was outside of the city. Well, I had a business here, I want to put businesses back, and all I'm asking y'all, consider the situation and see if we can keep it the way it is, plain and simple. I don't ask them no more than that, and I promise y'all I won't bother y'all.
Yes, sir.
Is that gonna be good?
Yes, sir. We'll look into it and talk it over and see what we can do.
That's all I'm asking for,
Yes,
no
sir.
more and no less.
Yes, sir.
And I think we can handle it from there.
Okay.
And I'm really, I tell you right here, she's really working hard trying to get in there. We're trying to get that thing up. I'm getting ready to have it built painted. I'm gonna make it look like it's supposed to be, baby, clean and neat. But I just want to make sure before I spend a lot of money down there, that I'm not placing my people to park.
Yes, sir.
If they're not gonna park, there's no need, if I'm gonna lose my parking spaces and stuff, there's no need of me spending a lot of money to try to fix something I can't use.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Understand what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying?
We all, yes, sir.
That's all I'm asking for y'all to look at the situation, consider what I'm asking for, and let me know what the plans are.
Yes, sir.
No more, no less. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
All right, so, tonight, I'm gonna just read y'all something before we go into public comment. So, these meetings, I kind of, let them get out of control of myself, and it's my own fault. So, from now on, we got a public comment sign-up sheet, and it'll be here before every meeting out. You can sign up before 6:45 before every monthly meeting. If the meeting time changes, we'll bump that up. So I'm gonna just, if you wish to speak during the public comment section of the meeting, you must sign up. The comment period will be no longer than 15 minutes, with speakers having 3 minutes to speak. No speaker can speak on a public hearing item or any item that would need to be discussed under closed session. Speakers cannot speak more than once during the public comment portion of the meeting and cannot give their time to another speaker. If there's more than one person who wishes to speak on the same topic with the same point of view, it is recommended to pick one person to speak on that topic. If there is not enough time for all speakers to have an opportunity to speak, those not able to speak will be the first to speak at the first meeting to follow. So I just, last month, the meeting kind of dragged out because of a lot of questions. I understand everybody's got questions, just a right way and a wrong way to go about it. And it's my fault for not setting it up right. So as of right now, we're going to open this floor for public comment. If you'd like to make a comment, you got 3 minutes. And one spokesperson if you're in that group. Okay. Move on to old business. Last month, we brought up some sidewalk quotes. We've got 2 of them. We need 1 more. I've got to find a reputable company from, and get with Mr. Powell here and see if we can get it going. So I kind of dropped the ball on that myself. Next thing is the sewer AIA agreement. I've got to read this and we got to vote on it. That was the thing we decided to go with Matt Gay on, Town of Bailey selected Matt Gay Associates PA to perform the engineering and administrative service to conduct an asset inventory assessment study of the town's water system. The parties to this agreement have mutual obligations on the terms of this agreement, and each acknowledgement adherence to mandatory division of water infrastructure and the State Water Infrastructure Authority and North Carolina state law governing the AIA grant funding and eligibility allocation. The town received a $150,000 AIA grant funding award from fall 2016 NCDEQ application, whereas Matt Gay Associates has been selected as engineering services company for the town of Bailey wastewater AIA by the Board of Commissioners of the town at May 2019 board meeting held on May 2019 to perform the scope of services designated in this agreement. Whereas MGA has an established record of working with towns throughout the region, which will facilitate MGA's facility work during the proposed project timeline. Whereas MGA will pursue designated study deliverables to the town commissioners, DWI, Waste Division, Waste Water Industries, and SWIA to insecure a successful study outcome and provide the town with enhanced management strategies for the wastewater system. Now therefore, the town and MGA for consideration hereinafter named as follows. And then we got to vote on this, but just 10 more pages under. Okay. So I need somebody to make a motion that we go with this and vote on. That's what I did. Yes, the contract.
So I'll make a motion that we accept the contract from Matt Gay for this sewer AIA study.
Second.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. I just signed that. New business, I don't really have anything. Y'all got anything? I will say this, somebody has brought up to me today about your parking, and I don't know if this is a solution to this or not, but that lot in front of it, we had talked about selling some lots, and I actually talked to you about selling them. What if the town was to have that lot, that parking lot restriped, and it's available for everybody to use? Would that be a solution that something could be worked with?
I mean, they let me use theirs since I had the restaurant down there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm with the way it is, I'm good to go.
Okay.
And if it comes up for sale, I'm willing to, we'll talk about that too.
Okay, so,
But I've already, as far as getting that concrete up and making a good looking parking lot.
Yes, sir.
We're looking at $12,000 to $15,000 to have that
Yes, sir.
concrete taken out and concrete and stuff was either above the price that I would pay for the lot.
Yes, sir.
So if the lot comes up and y'all start selling this stuff, I'm very interested in putting a bid in, and we can go from there too.
Okay.
With two or three ways that we can handle that. As long as I have ample parking for that restaurant. If we don't have the parking, it's just not gonna be good.
okay. All right, there's just an option. We'll run it by and see which one works out better really for everybody in the town, so. Okay, so, does anybody else got anything we need to do? All right, Chief.
Hey, good evening. My name's Steve Borowski. I'm your Chief of Police here in Bailey. I just got a few things to go over, a few bullet points I want to make. April, we had our open house and it was a huge success. With the community and the people that showed up, I want to thank Tony Harper and his family for donating food and cooking, Mr. Hawley and his wife for donating drinks and snacks, and Dr. Leonard with the Governor's Highway Safety Program, who gave me guidance in connecting with all the people that we had, the Highway Patrol, Orange County Sheriff's Department, Nash County Sheriff's Department. It was just a huge success. In the police department building, we got a brand new sign up there, so we took down the old sign, we made a new sign, blue sign, it looks really nice now. Miss Debbie's helped me with the street light. They've got it marked, and we're just waiting for them to put it up in the alley. I want to thank Officer Garland. He helped me fix the back door where it was flooding. We put up a 6-inch cement thing by the back door. So now we got cement up on that back door so the water can't come in. The vehicles, there's been a big thing about the vehicles. Vehicle 11's finally fixed and it's running. Haven't had any problems with it, knock on wood. The airbag has been, airbag recall, I've got that one done. In vehicle 12, I'm gonna take it on Thursday and get that airbag recall done. And had the oil change down to Dodge and they did a great job. For equipment, I really need to get ballistic vests for myself and Officer Callahan. I talked to Mr. Joel about this, and the league municipalities will match up to 1/2. So she doesn't have a vest. I've got a vest that's expired when I used to work up in Raleigh, but we need vests. So I need to get that done. If not for me, I definitely need that for Officer Callahan to get a vest.
What was the price on this? Something like 2,600?
Yeah.
No.
I don't have that.
No.
For two of them. And the league
It was 1,900.
And the league was gonna cover half of it.
Yeah, we had 1,000 and 2,000.
All right, cool.
We had the speed enforcement trailer, we had that for about a month, that was a huge success. We finally returned that to Spring Hope, I think Sharpsburg is using that now. Click and ticket kicked off starting today. I went up to the big event in Raleigh, that was really cool. I'm gonna post something on Facebook for the Bailey Facebook page. They simulated 2 cars going 35 miles an hour and crashing, wearing your seatbelt, not wearing your seatbelt, and they had dummies. And I was showing somebody here today, but I mean, it was really cool. The people who were in the back seat on the safety belt, I mean, they went like through the window, up through the sunroof, and the people who were there in the back, they never moved. And it was a really cool thing, so I'm gonna post that. I was talking to Mr. Joel about that, so I'm gonna post that tonight. So I was really excited about going up there. I started this new thing that I picked up through other agencies, through Fuquay, where I have a couple of people that I know, the 9 p.m. routine. It's really cool, like, I think on your Facebook, you got a picture of that one guy for the meme or whatever. And what it is, this tries to remind people that lock your doors, make sure your cars are locked, make sure you secure your valuables. I mean, it's just a really cool thing that just try to get people interested in locking up. It's try to prevent things that goes around town. So I was all excited about that. So we started that last night. So I'm gonna start posting stuff like every night, like at 9 o'clock. It's just to remind people to lock your doors, lock your house. It's kind of like a crime prevention thing. But it's something new for the town to do, for people to try to get involved in. And the only thing else I would like to ask is that Officer Garland has been here, I think, close to 6 or 7 years. And I've been in business a long time. And when I've been in business, you always have like a right-hand person that helps you do everything. And Tim has been exceptional. He's helped me get that police department in order. I mean, there's a lot of things that I wish I could share with you about that police department that I can't, but Tim has been there. Every time I call him, he comes in. He brings his truck up here, he's pulled the speed trailer, he's helped me with a lot of things. So I would like to ask the board if we could increase him to what the other 2 officers make. I just think that's a fair proposal. You know, Tim is the lowest paid reserve I have, and I'd like him to be matched for the other 2 reserves. Because every time I call Tim, he comes in, he helps me. And I need a person like that. I mean, especially with a small department where there's only 2 full-time officers and I only got 3 part-time officers, but every time I call Tim, he's right there, right beside me. That's what I need. So I would like to ask the board if we could bump him up to what the other 2 officers make. And that's basically what I got. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We'll look into that. We have to go into closed
Yeah.
session. We'll look into that. All right, Vince.
Good evening. So I'll give you my zoning administrator, some updates from that. In the past month, I've approved 2 permits for double wides. One for Jerry Perry, place on Glover Road, and then another one was for, now I can't even think of her name, Miss Ryder, out on Ultimate 260. So, and in approving those permits, working with the chairman of the planning board, we've come to the conclusion that we need to revisit our mobile home and manufactured home portion of the ordinance. So that's something that the planning board is going to start taking a look at, because there's just a couple of things in there that they're either a little bit too restrictive or simply just don't make sense. So we're going to. I also met with the owner, the daughter of the owner of the building next to the laundromat, the one that they were in the process of renovating, and then all of a sudden everything stopped, actually got shut down. They're looking at the option of doing a complete demo and then rebuilding a new home. It's not going to be right now their plan is just tear it down and build a home, something similar in size to what's already there. So we went over all of what has to happen in order to get a permit to do the demo and et cetera, stuff like that. So they are actively looking at trying to do something with the lot. Did notice that they did cut the grass, so that was we made some progress there. Also got a phone call from a developer that represents Hardee's about a possibility of building a new Hardee's. And the site that they're looking at is the old Walmart, the location where the Walmart was being looked at. This isn't anything that's, you know, imminent. This is because the first question, or the only question that was asked is, what is the status of the sewer? And I gave them a very optimistic answer saying it's probably at least 2 years away. So, just so you know, they're looking for, they want to build a bigger school, is what they want to do. They've run out of room. I think all of the breakfast club and the lunch club and the dinner club is gotten too large for the current restaurant. Any questions from a zoning perspective? Move into code enforcement. Last month I reported that, I think I did, that I had sent a letter to the owners of East Coast Custom Body and Paint. That's the property that Woodrow Strickland owns across from Rock Equipment, stating the violations of the conditional use permit. I met with the owner, one of the owners today, and he was very receptive, understands, and he's going to get to work on cleaning things up. And the plan is, as I told him, I would check back with him every 30 days and just let him know if there are still things that need to be done. And so he's going to move forward on that. So that's a plus there. Now I'll move across the street to the other one and see if we can make some progress there. I just today received a complaint about, I think it's the old pack house back there on Van Street.
Yes.
That's what it's called, pack house.
Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse. I'll follow up on that and notify the owner and see if we can get that corrected. And then also got another one that I need to look into on Stott Street. Apparently there's a bunch of Leland cypress trees that are basically taking over the road. I haven't been down there, so I'll go over there and take a look at that. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you, Vince. Commissioner Moore. Alan's out. Dawn?
Just wanted to give everybody an update on the filtration project. I got an email from David Honeycutt with McGill. And I think EnviroLink gave us a update too that they're working on it, so hopefully it'll be completed soon. So they're working on that. Also hoping to pursue some more money, grant money for sewer and water infrastructure. So and I think Cecil did mention Sunday at the cemetery for Veterans Memorial Day, 1 o'clock. It's usually a great service, really short, but it honors our veterans, really good. It's supposed to be hot, so bring an umbrella.
Joe?
Not much. I just wanted to thank the chief for all he's been doing, and want to thank Mr. Sievert for what he's doing. And it's I hope that Mrs. Boraski is doing much better. And,
Yes, thank you.
I know it's a process since the explosion, but thank you again, both of you, and Mrs. Boraski.
Okay, so the sidewalks, and we talked about some other things. I just want to see what Mr. Anthony had to say tonight about how we stood before we, rush into stuff like that. And then, okay, we've been dealing with the building. We're going to go into closed session in a minute, but there's a pile of red tape with everything that we have tried with this building. But instead of saying no, we're just going to back up upon again. But some stuff has fell in our lap that looks better than anything we had before. And it'll benefit the town, it'll benefit everybody, nobody will get incentives. I think it'll be a better thing for Main Street. I don't know for sure, we're gonna look into it. But we put it out on Facebook, and it was kind of really overwhelming for our town. And the Chambers page, just that little like pavilion patio, whatever you're gonna call it, like Mount Airy's got. I mean, it's just, in order to go with the chamber, we were gonna, instead of what I've been led to believe before, when I finally got it with a professor from the School of Government, he told us that we had to do a construction loan with the chamber, and instead of a forgivable loan or a grant, and it was gonna be like 8% a year. And then the town would have to take partial ownership of the building. And then if the chamber ever sold it, we have to sell it for fair market value. So if you spend $100,000 on a building, still, nobody might come to Bailey and pay you $100,000 for this building. There's only been one building that sold in Bailey for $100,000 on Main Street. That's what I'm told. And I think it was this one. So like, we kind of got to be smart about, do we want to, they said they could come out here and do a study on it. It would take 6 more months to do it. And they could decide next semester, UMC School of Government, if we'd ever get our money back out of the building, no matter how much we dumped in it. So I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, we can't get anything done with this building. And I was like, okay, well, our option is to tear it down. Well, then somebody showed me these pictures from Mount Airy where they had knocked the front of a building off and left the other walls standing up, stabilized those walls, poured concrete in, put picnic tables, umbrellas in, had a place for live atmosphere in the afternoons or something like that. If you had a food truck brought in, a small band, if we ever have a Nat Festival, sweet potato festival. I stole that from Ben Alford. It would provide a good place for it. So maybe that's something we can look into. The building's been here a while. I think if we rush to judgment and just tear it all down without at least looking at something like that, then we'll have an empty hole there, and we can at least use part of the building to make it look good. I'm not an artist by any means, but these folks have made this place look top shelf in Mount Airy, and I can get somebody to put pictures up next month in here, and we get some kind of way to put them on the wall so people can see them, whatever, come to the meeting. But we're going to talk about that for sure. And then I also, last month when Miss Umstead was in here, she asked me, and I made a mistake after watching that video again. She asked me, we're going to put the same effort into every street that we put into the downtown initiative. And I misspoke. I thought she was talking about just paving the streets or something like that. But what I meant to say, what I should have said was, it's Downtown Strong Initiative, it's a state initiative. They're just doing it for this Main Streets. They want to build Main Street back up. So if we want to go to every street and look at fixing them up and bringing them up houses, we're going to have to do that on an individual basis at a later time. But right now, this is free help from the state. So, and they'll be here again Wednesday night to meet with us. And they sent some emails today, and they like identified like several key points that Bailey has pros for it and cons of what they can do and what they need to work on and stuff like that. So we're going to get into that Wednesday night. So anyway, long story short, that's really all I've got. And at this time, I'd like somebody to make a motion that we recess this meeting for a closed session.
I make a motion that we go into closed session.
I second that motion.
All in favor? All opposed? That's good. Thank you.
So I'm gonna get home with my kids.
So,
Hold on. Hold on.
okay. We good. So I'd like to make a motion to raise Officer Garland's pay to $14 an hour.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. I mean, all opposed? Motion carried. Sorry about it, y'all. 9 o'clock. All right.
And finally, I'd like to make a motion that we acquire the 2 bulletproof vests for $1,900 with assistance from the League of Municipalities. Maybe I should amend that without the dollar amount.
That's,
So
yeah,
that we're guessing, right?
it's gonna be closer to 2, because the
Okay.
one was 8, yeah, it's gonna be closer to 2, but it'll be 1,000 and once they pay off the house.
So I make a motion that we acquire 2 bulletproof vests,
It's be a level 3 vest,
Level 3 vests.
Level 3, yes.
With assistance, financial assistance from the League of Municipalities.
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to make the motion that we acquire the property of hardware building from Wayne Kent and wife for $12,676.
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, everything? So we need to make a motion for it? Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second, I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank y'all for coming.